Okay, well, let's go back to our paper guests now. Gemma and Janelle, they're both there. Thanks a lot for hanging around. Interesting, that wasn't it? Let's leave Roe versus Wade and turn to politics and the Prime Minister. He is in Kigali, but he's facing a new Tory threat, says The Times. Gemma.
Yes, so the repercussions of the losses, the Tory losses in the by-elections are huge, really. So I think what they couldn't have anticipated was Oliver Dowden's resignation. That seemed to shock many factions of the party. It is rumoured that he is sharpening up to go and support Rishi Sunak, potentially. That's the rumour as reported in the Times. But meanwhile, what's quite interesting and perhaps quite Shakespearean in a way from the point of view of storytelling is that Boris Johnson's entire leadership, the years he's had in leadership so far, have been kind of dominated by him changing rules to fit his agenda. So to get Brexit through, he prorogued Parliament. You know, he's broken COVID rules. He tried to change the rules when there was the Owen Paterson scandal, for example. He sort of rides roughshod over ministerial code, etc. And now they are looking within the Tory party to change the rules of the 1922 committee in a bid to oust him, because of course he just won that confidence vote very recently, which means he's there for a year. And I wonder how many Tory MPs are regretting supporting him now that the people of Wakefield and the people of Tiverton and Hobbiton have spoken and given them this very clear message that no, you know what, this idea that you got all the big calls right and you're delivering and what the people think, no, we're not happy. So now they have to look at a way of removing him. So the vultures are circling, and it's going to be a very interesting few months in politics, I think.
Another interesting few months in politics. Let's stick with the theme and look at the Sun, page 9, because down at the bottom there is a face, a familiar face, that could... There he is. Could he be back in the cabinet, Janelle?
I mean, if Matt Hancock is the answer to Boris's problems, what's the question? I think is what I would say. But it's kind of back to what Gemma's kind of was just speaking about, you know, who would want to join the kind of long, slow goodbye of Boris Johnson back in that cabinet? But I think it is interesting that a lot of cabinet members are still sticking by him, but I think many of them probably wouldn't get into someone else's cabinet because of the way that I think they've all been tainted by the Boris Johnson legacy. And so I think as we go into the next few weeks and see potential reshuffles, and who knows, this piece feels very much like someone trying to make a comeback rather than other people thinking they're making a comeback. But I think it will be very interesting to see how those Tory swing voters in terms of their own MPs are going to be moving and shaking in the next few weeks. I think they really try to get rid of Boris Johnson and bring in whatever is the new. It would be interesting to see who will be the runners and riders, because quite a few of them tainted by all what's gone on in lockdown and just before. But Matt Hancock, I don't think he's the answer to Boris's problems, but he might be one of the few people that he can actually lean on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if he does stick around and does have a summer reshuffle. Let's stick with Boris Johnson, because he's obviously in Kigali for this Commonwealth meeting, CHOGM. In The Guardian, they say that some celebrities, Gemma, have got together and written a letter to all the delegates at that meeting. What are they saying?
Yes, so this is some celebrities who've come together to urge Commonwealth leaders, particularly in Rwanda, they're all there, to oppose the UK's plan to deport refugees over there, saying it shows a colonial view of Africa as a dumping ground. So all sorts of people have put their name to this: Rob Rinder, David Harewood, Sophie Okonedo, Benjamin Zephaniah, the poet. I don't think they'll take any notice of it. I don't think, this sort of letter will do much. I don't think Boris Johnson will take any notice whatsoever. I think it's really interesting, actually, this notion of celebrities getting together and using their voice and their platforms is perhaps less powerful than it once was, because everybody has a voice now. Every individual, because of social media, has allowed anyone to say what they think. And so actually you've got people on Twitter. I know not everybody's on Twitter, but you've got some activists on there, for instance, who have extraordinarily powerful voices and huge followings.
Okay, so we're going to have to leave it there.
I think they're so passionately, but I don't think it will do much.
Okay, Gemma, Janelle, thanks a lot. We'll see you next hour. Still to come here on Sky News Breakfast, we will have the latest on the US Supreme Court's decision to overturn the constitutional right for people to choose to have an abortion.